We start with our Newsmaker segment and look at the race for sheriff in Jackson County. We'll talk with the Republican nominee who faces the incumbent sheriff, former police chief Darrell Forte. Joining me in the studio is David Bernal, who brings 37 years of law enforcement experience to the table as a member of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department and as a special agent of the FBI. Mr. Bernal, welcome to Ruckus. Thank you very much for coming in and joining us.
Thank you, Mike, for inviting me.
Got to ask you this question, as you surmised, why do you want this job?
Well, for me, Mike, it's one word, and it's service. With the exception of 12 of my 24 years as a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I've lived all of my life in Jackson County. On April 18th of this year, we in Jackson County learned of the shameful circumstances that led to the resignation of Mike Sharp as sheriff of Jackson County. Well, as a citizen of Jackson County with a law enforcement background, I was particularly distressed and angered that Sharp had such little sense of ethical consideration for the citizens of the county and for his department. So I decided to raise my hand and run for sheriff.
Well, the current sheriff, Darrell Forte, a former police chief, has been in the job for a while. He's running for election. Do you have specific criticisms of what he's been doing?
No, he is the interim sheriff, I understand. Since his time there in that position, some other situations or problems have been divulged.
To say the least.
And, he's just doing what he needs to do as the interim sheriff.
Are the two of you ever going to have a debate during the campaign?
We have had a couple of forums before the primary, and there might be a possible additional forum near the end of the month of October.
It looks like there is going to be a new Jackson County jail, at least at some point in our future. Do you think that's absolutely necessary? We need a new jail?
I think we do, yes. The grand jury report of this past May about the Jackson County Jail was pretty distressing. There's so many issues there that need to be addressed, and well, I do believe we need a new jail.
I think the Kansas City Star editorial page is critical of the legislature for, I believe, going ahead and voting on a property tax increase to start funding a new jail. The Star believes that this question ought to be put to the public. Do you agree with the Star, or do you think the legislature is carrying on in the proper manner?
No, I agree with the Star. I think that decision should be left up to the voters.
Do you think voters would say, yes, no question, we need a new jail?
I would think with a lot more information that's provided to them, that needs to be provided to them about the situation as it is at the jail, they would likely vote for the change.
You're running as a Republican in a county that is almost exclusively Democratic. We do from time to time see Republicans win local elections, but not very often. Do you think you have a very good chance?
Well, I hope so, Mike. I know there's not been a Republican sheriff in Jackson County since 1924. And I would like to be the next one.
Well, given your background as a special agent of the FBI, do you have any sense of what's ahead for Jackson County government? We know there's a federal investigation going on, at least two fronts. Do you have any sense, just based on your experience, about what we might expect?
Well, you're referring to I guess this past week here in Jackson County.
The convictions of Mike Sanders and Calvin Williford, and the federal judge saying she was giving Williford a lesser sentence because he helped in the ongoing federal probe of at least two matters.
Well, the only thing I know about that is what I read in the media. I don't know any additional information regarding that, but yes, it's pretty distressing, disturbing for the citizens of the county.
What would be your primary goal as the Jackson County Sheriff?
Well, I have actually had the opportunity to speak to some people who are intimately involved with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, and they had informed me that one of the issues that they would like to see resolved in the future if I became sheriff had to do with the political aspect of the job. I would do everything I need to do away with favoritism and the bias, I guess, that some of these people are explaining is, in their opinion, there.
And apparently the jail would be under your jurisdiction, the sheriff's jurisdiction, if the voters approve a charter amendment giving control of the jail to the sheriff.
Well, I understand that that is a proposal, and if that's the case, I will certainly do everything I need to do to fulfill that obligation.
And you would welcome that?
Well, as I say, I would do everything I need to do to fulfill that obligation.
If someone wants to learn more about you, is there a way?
Yes, sir. There is a website, electburnellforsheriff.com.
All right. Thank you, sir, for coming in. Good luck in the campaign.
Thank you, Mike.
That is Jackson County GOP Sheriff candidate David Bernal. Now let's meet the panel and start a ruckus.